Nuclear energy could soon be recognized as climate-friendly and sustainable on the EU. On New Year's Eve, the EU Commission submitted a corresponding draft ordinance to the member states, which immediately met with criticism in Germany. Gas energy should therefore also be regarded as green, with some reservations. Well, the topic has been causing a dispute now between Berlin and Paris for some time. But what happened so far? This is what it is about. A legal text by the EU Commission that has not yet been published is up for discussion, and investors around the world are eagerly awaiting it. The authority under President Ursula von der Leyen is considering including nuclear energy in a list of sustainable forms of energy. A first draft of the so-called taxonomy proposal, which became public on Saturday, confirmed the project, which is like a recommendation to the financial market to invest in nuclear facilities. But who is in favor of the plan? First and foremost, it's France. President Emmanuel Macron believes nuclear energy is essential so that France and the EU can become climate neutral by 2050, as planned. Poland and other Eastern EU countries also want to build new nuclear power plants in order to make their economies, which are heavily dependent on coal, more climate friendly. Well, what is behind the plan or the plea for sustainable nuclear power? Macron rediscovered nuclear energy before the presidential election in April. He recently announced €1 billion for its expansion. The nuclear power, France already gets around 70% of its electricity from nuclear power plants. That's the highest proportion worldwide. According to the EU Commission, nuclear power only made up around 25% of the total in 2020. But what does the German federal government think of the nuclear plans? Germany is where I'm sitting here right now. Above all, the Greens and the so-called traffic light coalition are resisting it. Federal Climate Protection Minister Robert Habeck and Environment Minister Steffi Lemke sharply criticized the draft regulation that has now been sent from Brussels. Labeling nuclear energy of all things as sustainable is wrong with this high-risk technology, said the Green Vice Chancellor Habeck. But what does the Social Democratic Chancellor Olaf Scholz think about this? During a joint appearance with Macron at the last EU summit, Scholz tried to appease. The Commission proposal should not be overestimated, he said, and called the taxonomy a small topic in a very big question. He pointed out that the member states could continue to decide on their own path to an emission-free future. The fact remains that the last nuclear power plant in Germany will be shut down in 2022. That's this year, which I still think is a mistake. Are there any other voices from the Social Democrats, there in the government at least? The former Federal Environment Minister Svenja Schulze argued that the World Climate Conference in Glasgow in November said that nuclear power could not be a solution. Together with Austria, Luxembourg, Denmark and Portugal, she warned that including this form of energy in the EU taxonomy would permanently damage its integrity, credibility and usefulness. But what would a compromise look like? According to the draft paper, the Commission wants to include natural gas in its taxonomy proposal in addition to nuclear power. Under certain circumstances, new gas infrastructure should also be able to receive the sustainability label. This question is important for Germany and Austria, for example, as consumers of Russian gas. But the problem is, natural gas is a fossil fuel, even if it is less harmful to the climate than coal. So, what's going to happen now? With its draft paper, the EU Commission has started a 2-week consultation process with the member states. In mid-January, they want to present the final proposal, which may differ from the draft that has now become known. Subsequently, the Council of Member States and the EU Parliament each have a right of veto. Individual member states alone cannot stop the process. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.